Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another movie review. And now, for this one. Now, this is a film that probably a lot of people don't like. Probably, I would say, give an estimate like probably say like 85% of the people probably don't like the film. And again, there's probably people that do like the film though. And yeah, but now we're reviewing the supposedly bad film, Jonah Hex. Now, Jonah Hex is based the film is based on the comic books from DC, DC Comics. But yeah, to be honest, compare compare it to Marvel and DC, which is always an even split between people, I've always been more of a Marvel fan, but of course for the DC films I really do enjoy, especially I love Batman, Tim Burton's Batman. I love um, Batman Returns is a very good sequel. So of course, Richard the original Superman film, the 70s, the 1978, I think it was 1978, yeah. Richard Donner film. Um, of course, though there's been mostly mainly Batman and Superman films though, but other adaptations have probably I like Red, the film with Bruce Willis. And yes, I do like Green Lantern, the 2011 film with Ryan Reynolds. I do like Green Lantern, But Jonah Hex, with starring Josh Brolin, John Malkovich, and Megan Fox, Um, the film came out in the summer of June 18th, 2010, and it's directed by Jimmy Hayward. This is his first live-action film. There was a Jimmy Hayward. He directed Horton Hears a Who, the animated film Horton Hears a Who, and also in 2013 he directed Free Birds. The films with the turkeys. They wanted to stop Thanksgiving. Yeah. But I like Horton Hears a Who. Um, with Jonah Hex. Now this is gonna be some ranting. It's a mix. It's not a full blown rant. Because there is stuff I do like in the film. You know, it's gonna be a mixture of some positives and some negatives. So it's gonna be a little bit of ranting in this film though. It's not it's not to me personally. It's not bad that what everybody says. It's not 100% bad. Um, but I do understand why a lot of people hate the film. Um, because also because the film the originally it was gonna be directed by Neville Dean and Taylor, you know, the two directors, they were originally what they were directed Crank and Crank 2, which I like both those films, and they directed Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, and that film sucked, I did not like Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. And then of course they're both directing the upcoming horror film called The Vatican Tapes. But they originally got directed, but they couldn't do it. I think they said that due to creative reasonings, that's the reason why they left. Yeah, due to creative differences, So they brought Jimmy Hayward to direct, Um, but they said they both uh did the screenplay and came up with the story, And now the film when the film came out, it got, like I said, a lot of people hated it, even critics hated it. Has a 4.6 on IMDb, has a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Um, which I do understand why. That's understandable. Uh, and the film was a flop, also a box office flop as well. See, also DC, they've have made a couple of mistakes, Well, me personally, I like Green Lantern. That was a huge flop though, which is sad, This film was a flop, and Red 2 didn't do well domestically, and I didn't like Red 2 either. It didn't do well domestically. Um, other flops that were made by DC, well, Superman 4, Quest for Peace, Supergirl, um, Catwoman. Yeah, I forgot that Catwoman, and a lot of people hated Batman and Robin. Yeah, because well, DC has made pretty much some more technically more bad flicks than Marvel has. If you want to put it from a lot of people's perspective. But I do not like the Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, except for Heath Ledger as a Joker. But DC has made a lot of missteps. But compared to Marvel though. But this film didn't do well at the box office. Like I said, it was another flop. And it cost 47 million and it made only just $10 million because. Okay, there's a couple of reasons why. For me, I thought that this film was a huge flop. Wasn't. Well, I wouldn't say a huge flop because it didn't have a big budget. But 47 million is a decent budget though, but not like 100 million. But just saying. Now, two things. It came out in June 18, 2010. Now, the reason why maybe part of this film was flawed because this opened on the same weekend as Toy Story 3. And Toy Story 3 made a huge, over 100 million something over the weekend, and that was a huge hit, and this film got completely overshadowed by Toy Story 3, and this film debuted at number 7. Yeah, and also probably the reason why the film didn't do well because Jonah Hex is probably like a lesser known DC character because not probably a lot of people has never heard of hardly ever or probably people not never heard but hardly ever heard of the name Jonah Hex. Personally, I do, I have comic books, but mostly Marvel, though. I have some DC comic books, but I do have some Jonah Hex comic books, I'm not gonna lie. But I could see, but probably the reason why, because the film didn't do that well, because maybe probably a lot of people has hardly ever heard of the name Jonah Hex, Maybe that's also the reason why it didn't do well. And so, like, two reasonings. Probably a lot of people don't have hardly heard of the name Jonah Hex, and probably also because it came out the same weekend as Toy Story 3. So yeah, that's also the reason why the film was a box office flop. And of course, and also negative add to like negative reasons. It was nominated for 2 Golden Razzie Awards. It was for worst actress, of course, for worst actress Megan Fox, and for worst screen couple, Josh Brolin's face and Megan Fox's accent. So yeah. Now, okay, so let me get to well, I'll tell the story as I tell the story, but I will get to the mixtures in this film. But it opens up with Jonah Hex. He's being tied up, and played by Josh Brolin. And that's also one of the positives in this film. Josh Brolin, I would say he was good as Jonah Hex. I would say that he was good as Jonah Hex. I will give that. I'd say he did a good job as a good job as Jonah Hex. And he's been tied up, and by the main villain played by Quentin Turnbull, played by John Malkovich. And he's tied him up because of what Jonah Hex did to him and his men. He knew they were doing bad stuff, so he turned him in, and now, and also the result that Jonah Hex shot his best friend, which was also Turnbull's son Jeb, because he ordered Jonah Hex to burn down this hospital, and he didn't want to do it, so he was forced to shoot his best friend and slash Turnbull's son Jeb, So now Turnbull is tied Hex up, and he burned down his home with his wife and son inside, and now he marked the those what were those called, those hot stamps, you know, that the people mark on cows and stuff like that, you know. So he marks them on his face here, you know, and then okay, and another good thing I would say, you know, get into like an animation part, like a comic book style, you know. Okay, that's like I like that how it turned like the opens this like an animated style, you know, how uh Josh Brolin was telling the story how what happened after that, you know. So they get to like a comic book style animation, which I thought it was like a kind of a cool thing, you know. Although which also leads to one of the problems because he ends up, you know, because after he was supposedly found dead, the Indians healed him, you know, and then all of a sudden he has like this ability to talk to dead people, you know, by touching them, you know, and that's one of the things that I did not like about, you know, how he has the ability to talk to this supernatural ability to talk to dead people, you know. Um, but as he kept on going on, you know, he wanted to kill Turnbull, but he he supposedly died in a hotel fire, you know, and so now he's now turned to bounty hunting, killing wanted criminals, you know, to get paid, you know. And it just shows the title, you know, this here's my story, you know. And that was like this he collects like 3 dead bodies, you know, and to serve to this person that wanted a bounty, you know, on these dead guys to serve to the people, you know. And he says like the other guy I think was like he looks like a mirror, you know. And he says there were four Clayton boys, but there's only 3. And Jonah Hex gives him the bloodied up sack with only the guy's head, and he's like the rest of him was too fat from a horse, you know. That was okay. That was a I thought that was a fine line that he said, you know. The rest of him was too fat from a horse, you know. And but of course they won't give him the bounty because they were gonna kill him, you know. Of course if you've seen in the trailer, you know, he's on his horse and gets those double Gatling guns and starts shooting at the guys, you know. I always did like that scene. That was like a cool scene, you know, like him shooting on double Gatling guns on his horse, you know. That was a cool scene, you know. Shoots a couple more guys, and then he takes his money, but also gives his badge to another person. You know, it's like he's now makes him a sheriff. You know, it's like congratulations, you know. So then and then next it shows a train, you know, and to get some guys who are gonna hijack the train. Well, just the machinery that's on there, you know, and the young couple half the train, and one of the guys the name of Burke, it would just played by Michael Fassbender, you know, who plays young Magneto from X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past, you know. Michael Fassbender, he's a guy who works for Turnbull, you know. He sets off explosions and kills all the passengers and soldiers, you know, on there. And that was also that was a good explosion as well of the other train cars blowing up, okay, also killing lots of innocent people, you know. And then it shows that cuts to, you know, in Washington, the president of Ulysses Grant, played by Aidan Quinn. Aidan Quinn, you know, which I mostly remember him from Stakeout, you know. But he was the bad guy in Stakeout. He was a good bad guy in Stakeout. He plays the president Ulysses Grant in this. You know, they know the Turnbo's alive, and he knows what he's planning on, you know. So he planned to use to send his men to find Jonah Hex, you know, to stop him because he knows about with him and Quentin Turnbull, you know. And then they go to another scene that I like when he's sitting at a bar, you know, drinking, and other guy says he doesn't look so tough, you know. So he goes and pulls out a knife and says, "Hey Hex, what happened to your face?" And then all of a sudden he goes and all of a sudden shoots the guy, you know, which he had a gun hidden underneath his hat, you know. And he's like, "Cut myself shaving. Whatever happened to yours?" Yeah, that was another good scene, you know, because he had it hidden underneath his hat, you know, and goes and shoots the guy he knew, you know. And of course, then he goes upstairs, and of course, and now he gets meets with Megan Fox, who I do not like. I think she sucks as an actress. All she go that's what all she's wherever she's on screen. That's all she wants to be focused on is her good looks. That's what she's good for. She can't act worth a crap. Did not like her in the Transformer films. I did not like her in Jennifer's Body. Absolutely, I definitely mostly hated her in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I did not like her in this. I never liked Megan Fox. Never liked her. But beside that, she's a prostitute, and who likes Jonah Hex, and but then the next morning, and like a bunch of army soldiers and comes bursting in, and another funny line that Josh Brolin says. He's like, "Geez, woman, how many men you're seeing today?" And then the soldiers tell him the Quentin Turnbull is alive. So he goes to visit Will Arnett, who's another soldier. Yeah, like Will Arnett and Megan Fox School be in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Um, Will Arnett tells them, that there's a dead guy. They interrogated, but he died though. So Jonah Hex touches him, so be able to speak to him, And like when he holds him long enough, the guy starts burning up, and to gives him the information that he needs, goes goes to this fighting tent where another soldier that that he sold out, um, and during the like also cuts to John Malkovich talking to Wes Bentley, who's a guy who's been helping him get all this stuff to build. Wes Bentley is in this for just about for nothing really. He appears in 2 scenes and that's it. Not even like of the first scene like for a minute, and the next scene for about 20 seconds, and that's it. So he's pretty much in a nothing role. See, all he does is just help John Malkovich, just get the stuff there where he's told, these classified stuff. So he's in it for in nothing role, but like I would say like about a minute total on screen, and that's it. For in combined total with just 2 scenes, that's it. So he's in a pointless role. Um, Even in another pointless role, when Josh Brolin or Jonah Hex gets to the fighting tent, and like the ring inside, like the ringmaster, there's Michael Shannon, and you only see him. You basically didn't know who he was. Now you only see him if you look it up and see who he is. He's only in for like 10 seconds. That's it. It's like, oh, this is what y'all been waiting for. And you blink and you miss him. I only saw him for just like for that 1 scene, and that was it. You saw him for like 10 seconds. That was it. You blink and you miss him. Although the only features were just deleted scenes, but you do see him more. Like he's in this inside of a horse carriage. And he's talking to Megan Fox. A little bit more time than that though, but besides the deleted scenes though, just for that little scene, about 10, you see him for 10 seconds. That's it. But if you want to go in the deleted scenes on this, you'll see him more. And he's riding a horse carriage talking to Megan Fox. So then after he gets some doesn't get nothing from the guy, and throws into the ring, and then outside he hits a couple guys that are like messing with his dog, and I thought, okay, that's another positive thing. I like how when the dog goes along with him, after he's supposed to like saved him, from being hit by these guys, the dog goes along with him, So okay, I thought I like that, So he goes to the graveyard and digs up the body of his best friend Jeb, brings him back to life, At first wants to hit him because for what he did, But then he gets some information. This is that's another problem. The only thing Wade does when he talks to dead people is just to get information from other dead people, Like talking to like dead guy in the cage to get information for whoever where the guy is next, And then he talks to to Jeff, who was also played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you know, and okay, and that's another. I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I liked him when he had the talk, you know, with Josh Brolin. Okay, but beside that, he uses it to get information from. That's all he does. Using his superpowers from is just get information from, you know. Um. Um. But um. But he tells him where he's at. He's at this fort, you know. And it's in Jeffrey D. Morgan tells him like, you know, like talk about you down here, you know. You just you know, so like when you die, they'll be waiting for you, you know. So he goes to this fort, finds John Malkovich, you know, and before that he gets some new weapons, you know, so he gets some new weapons before going there. But what he does, you know, he sees John Malkovich and he shoots some more men, which is I thought was like another a cool weapon, you know, that he uses. Like it's like an arrow gun though. Instead of shooting arrows, he shoots like dynamite, you know. And that was like another cool action scene, you know. And well, first of all, that's another problem, you know. There's hardly that much action, you know. Like you get the one bit of action in the beginning, you know, with the Gatling guns, with the on the horse and then one action is when the train gets blown up, and then some spit, and then between that, you know, and there's no action until that scene, you know. So basically, but I like that when he starts to shoot these dynamite guns, you know, he starts shooting, blowing up more. So man, like left and right, you know. Oh, that was like a very cool scene, you know. I like that. And then another reason I also like the score as well by music by Marco Belrami and Mastodon. I don't know who those were, but that was a good thing with. I thought what then part of the reason why I like the film is the score. You know, dun 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 dun, you know, dun 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 dun. I'm doing a crappy job, you know, but so he starts shooting guys with the dynamite gun. Then he gets shot by Michael Fassbender, and as he's riding along, you know, he falls back down to the ground, and then there's like these crows, you know, and this is another thing, you know, because time you see like crows like watching him, and it just reminded me like the Crow, you know the Crow, you know how with the film with Brendan Lee, you know, when there's like the Crow that brings him to life, you know, and it's always like its guardian or it's like it's always watching him, you know. It's the same thing I see in here, you know. Do you see like crows or one crow watching him, you know? I don't know. I'm just saying, you know. I'm just saying though, because I'm just calling it as I see it, you know. And it also gets as he's falls off, and it gets like into this like imaginary fight with John Malkovich, you know, like he rises up out of the sand, out of the dirt, you know, sand or dirt, whatever, you know, but it's red, and he gets into like a brief fight, you know, but he gets like shot by John Malkovich, you know, and then it shows John Malkovich as Turnbow, he gets to get this thing that this part of his weapon, like these like here these orange balls, you know. First, like you said, it's like part of a super cannon. You know, first, it shoots out like regular cannonballs. But when you shoot the orange ball, it like ignites all the cannonballs and makes a one big huge explosion. Like he uses on this small town, and shoots from a distance, you know. Like he shoots cannonballs first, regular cannonballs first, and then shoots what's he called, the detonate the ordnance, you know. And then ignites all the other ones, creates one big explosion, destroys the whole town. And then once in a while, it cuts back to like Aidan Quinn as the president, you know, telling him what he's been for him, what just happened, you know. Um, and then Michael Fassbender as the character Bert kidnaps Megan Fox. I don't know how because John Malkovich said find something that he loves and bring it to me, you know. I don't know how that I was freaking scratching my nose. I'm sorry for that though. Makes me freaking scratching my nose. I don't know how they found where Mecha Fox lives. Don't know not even know sure if he knew if she knew Jonah Hex. Whatever. I don't know. And that's what There's like I do. There's some things I like, but there's just some things there's just I just don't get. Um, like I said, well, I'll get to the positives, more to the positives and negatives as I keep on going though. So you can ask Megan Fox. The Indians find Jonah Hex. They heal him up again. And I guess they use some sort of medicine on him. They can make a crow open out of his mouth, like a CG crow. Comes out of his mouth. And like I said about the crows. The crows. Like kind of reminds me of the crow, watching over him. Even a crow opens out of his mouth, Excuse me. And then he goes where the next location where he's at because when he was in that fort, he saw the plans to where they're planning his next to attack, So he heads towards there, the harbor, and gets into the fight with Michael Fassbender, and he has sets his hand on fire and gives him a couple punches to the face, and then he kills him by putting his head to the boat propeller, but you don't see it. You don't see it. It cuts away to the guy's feet, So because it's PG-13, so you don't see no gore effect anything. It just cuts away, And then he picks him again because he's dead, and he burns him really quickly and punches him, and he just disintegrates. Then Turnbull holds Megan Fox hostage and tells him to lower the gun, and he gets captured. They're both chained up. Megan Fox unhooks the chains, and then they shoot again. They shoot some more bad guys, and Jonah Hex gets like a thing that looks like a flamethrower used on a couple guys. Okay, uses like a flamethrower for just like using a couple guys, but he doesn't use it. He uses for about 30 seconds, and that's it. Fights with John Malkovich, and as he keeps on hitting him, he keeps on cutting back to that imaginary fight that he has. And how I got the upper hand because Megan Fox was trying to fight this big guy, and she had get this hatchet that Jonah Hex had, and she's trying to reach for it, but it falls down all the way down to that spot where they're at, hits him and puts John Malkovich into the gears, and shows that he won that imaginary fight, shoots him, and he used the hatchet to block the the ordnance, from going all the way up, Also, even before this the whole fight, Will Arnett and his boat, try to stop him, but even John Malkovich used the weapon to blow him up, him and the boat up. And that was also a nothing role as well. That was also a nothing role for Will Arnett. Even John Malkovich. I like John Malkovich as an actor. I know he's played better bad guys, especially far as concerned, like the best bad guy John Malkovich has ever played was in Con Air, and I absolutely love Con Air, and John Malkovich plays a great bad guy as memorable bad guy as Cyrus the Virus. He's played better bad guys, and his role, as you can see, it's Quentin Turnbull. It's not. I mean, I wouldn't say John Malkovich is not that bad acting wise as the bad guy. It's pretty much also a nothing role for him as well. A lot of roles is a nothing role. Like Megan Fox, I could say it's definitely a nothing role for her. When Will Arnett has a nothing role. Michael Shannon has a 10-second nothing role, and Wes Bentley has a 2-scene nothing role. There's a whole lot of nothing roles in this, except for except for Josh Brolin, because he's the only best actor in the film. He does a good job as Jonah Hex. I do give props to that, you know. He does a good job as Jonah Hex. Probably a lot of people think he's horrible, you know, probably wrong casting choice, because they even wanted Thomas Jane to be Jonah Hex, you know. But instead he provides the voice of Jonah Hex in an animated short film, you know. Even also, I believe, what was it? Was Lena? I haven't seen it in a while, but was it Linda Hamilton who also voiced in that animated short film with Thomas Jane? I think so. I think so. I think I'm right. You know, even though Josh Brolin was good as Jonah Hex, but I don't think I would have liked to see how Thomas Jane would have played the role. You know, or otherwise, because he's like playing like a Western version of the Punisher, because you know. I would say he's kind of like Jonah Hex, like a Punisher, you know, because you know he lost his family. Now he's like you know, sort of like a vigilante in a way, you know, and killing bad criminals, you know. That's sort of like a Western Punisher to me, you know, and but the Punisher is still a much better movie than Jonah Hex, you know, because I'm just saying though, but um so Jonah Hex and Megan Fox, they jump off the boat as the thing drops down and blows up John Malkovich, you know. And back in Washington, you know, the president or Aidan Quinn gives him his reward, you know, for his job, offered him to become sheriff. What was it? Yeah, sheriff of the United States, but he turns it down though. But he says, if there's any trouble next time, you know where to find me. Then he goes to back to Jeb's grave and says, you know, apologizes for killing his father, you know. And then he goes and rides this horse, and the dog joins him again, you know. And then it ends with Jonah Hex saying, you know, they say a man with a heart of vengeance digs himself two graves, one for his enemy, one for himself. Well, I guess mine will have to wait. And then it ends up with that score that I like, you know, the music and the score that I like. Like I can definitely see why a lot of people hate the film, you know, but I guess I'm mixed about it. Like it's like I like it okay, you know, because there's a lot of positive things I like about the film, but at the same time there's also negative stuff, things I didn't like about it, you know. But I could definitely see why a lot of people hate the film. I can definitely see it, you know. Well, let me get to the positives why I like the film. Like I said already, like I said, Josh Brolin he did a good job as Jonah Hex. He's the only actor who was good in the film. Like as a John Malkovich, he was not that bad as playing the villain though, but it's also like pretty much also a nothing role at the same time, you know. He played a much more better bad guy in Con Air than this, you know. But also other positives besides say Josh Brolin as playing Jonah Hex. I like the score to the film, you know. The two action scenes that I like, when the Gatling guns on the horse, and then shooting the dynamite guns, you know. Um, but yeah, the president. I did the 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 train explosion, you know. When the other train cars got exploded, it was a nice explosion. Um, I did like the bit where he was talking to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I also like the bit where when the dog goes along with Jonah Hex, you know. I don't know why. Maybe people think I'm dumb for thinking that way. For how a dog just goes along with Jonah Hex, you know. I don't know. This is how I felt as I was watching it. You know, the dog goes along with Jonah Hex, and I thought, okay, but um, other positives. a couple of lines that Jonah Hex says. Like I said, like when he brought the head to that guy, you know, it was like the rest of him was too fat from a horse. Or even before he started shooting the Gatling, it was like 5 coffins. Sure, you don't need 8. Um, or when the guys come bursting, I was like, geez, woman, how many men did you see today? How many men are you seeing today? Or even also that incident I like when he shoots that guy with his gun hidden underneath his hat. Shoots the guy when it says, "What happened to your face?" You know. Um, Other lines, you know, what he says about the dog. You know, when he was about to leave, when he leaves his horse there and he's talking to the dog, like, "You, well, I got nothing to say about to you," you know. Or even when he rescued the dog from the tent fire, he's like, "He's just jealous of your looks, boy," you know. Something like that. So yeah, there were some positives about it, you know, I could say about it. But the negative side, like the roles, like, especially I do not like Megan Fox, you know, that's a reason. That's a reason. But also other roles, you know, the characters, you know, like I said, John Malkovich. He's like not bad acting wise as a villain, but at the same time, it's also a nothing role. At the same time, other nothing roles. Will Arnett is in it for a nothing role. Wes Bentley is in for 2 scenes in a nothing role, like about 1 minute total, you know, and Michael Shannon appears in like about 10 seconds of that one scene in the ring, you know, and that's it. Except for when you see him more in the deleted scenes, but I'm talking about in the film though. 10 seconds, you blink and you miss him. Um, Aidan Quinn as a President Ulysses Grant. He was all right, but at the same time he was not in the film that much. Like, how many scenes was it? 4 scenes. Yeah, 4 scenes, about the beginning, and then towards in the middle, and towards the end, and also the very end of the film. He was not. He was also not in the film. You could say it's a nothing role at the same time. Although, but I like Aidan Quinn as an actor as well, you know. So he was all right as well. Um, Michael Fassbender as the other bad guy. I would say yeah. Although I still say although I could still say I disliked him more in the X-Men films. To be perfectly honest, because I really hate X-Men First Class. I really do. Maybe I could say maybe his bad guy role I could say is like a wee bit better than younger Magneto. You know, I'm just saying. Other stuff like his supernatural ability, you know, to talk to dead people, which is there just for him to get information from the dead people, you know. I thought you could leave it, well, why not? Because, you know, it's not like he's a normal human being, but it's not like Superman who has all those powers or anything, you know. Okay, give him a power, give him at least one power, but that's talking to dead people. But it's also at the same time, it's a useless power, you know. Sometimes, yeah, I would say it's a more of a useless power. The scene where his imaginary fight with John Malkovich, you know, could I would say could have cut that out, you know. The thing with like I said before, with the crows and all that, you know, kind of reminds me of the Crow, which is miles better. And the aspect of the Crow is much better, is used much better in the film of the Crow more than this. Uh, yeah. So that's pretty much about it. Yeah, but so I've said my positives and my negatives, though. The only thing that's worth watching is seeing Josh Brolin playing as Jonah Hex. It's the only thing pretty much the only thing worth watching to keep on going. You know, I would say pretty much he's the best part of the entire film. You know, except besides those action scenes that he does with the Gatling gun and that dynamite gun. You know, and like I said, the score I like. You know, when pretty much he's the only good actor in the film. Put it that way. So yeah, that's the reason why it's worth watching is Josh Brolin as Jonah Hex. Because I would do give credit where credit's due. You know, he did a good job playing as Jonah Hex. I can say, like, so far I can definitely see why a lot of people hate the film, and I can definitely see why it flopped as well. But also maybe because the reason that he's the title character is a lesser known DC character, you know, and also it got overshadowed by Toy Story 3, you know. And also, I think like DC, I would say has had more box office flops than Marvel. I'm just saying, I'm just comparing, you know. But I don't want to get into arguments about the fight between DC and Marvel. I don't want to get into that though. I just want to quickly point out, but I'm not getting into that though. So yeah, that's my review for Jonah Hex. Yeah, there was some ranting, you know. I'm mixed about it, you know, 50-50, you know. Yeah, well, of course, when I put it as a title, you'll see it as a title. It will be like a review slash rant, you know. But it's not. I don't think it's not that bad. It's not the worst film I've ever seen. Just that's all I'll put away. It's not the worst film ever by far, because I've seen a lot worse, you know. It's not the worst movie ever. Is it like one of the worst films of the year 2010? Maybe though, but like I said, I've seen a lot worse though. But I can definitely see why a lot of people hate this film. I know where they're coming from, you know. But yeah. But if you ever watch it just for Josh Brolin as Jonah Hex, whether you like or hate him as the character. But to me, I liked him in the film. Once again, he did a good job. So that's my review for Jonah Hex. Review slash rant, you know. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.